welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury makeup. And today we have another episode of Makeup Mondays. And Makeup Mondays is where I go ahead and do a video requested by you, the viewer. So if you have any future requests, please leave them down below in the comments or DM me on Instagram. I'm at Alexis Jong, and I'm always happy to take down suggestions. Sometimes it might take me a while to get to them, but I do have a running list of everything that people have suggested. Today's video is in response to Donna J, and Donna was asking about the Chanel liquid eyeliners. So they came out, I guess a year and a half ago, something like that. And they have 4 limited edition shades. And I do have all of the limited edition shades and one of the permanent shades. So we're gonna go through all the different shades. We're gonna go through different ways that I like to use these, as well as, what this particular eyeliner looks like. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Today, you can see I don't have much on yet. I thought we would try some of these out. So on my skin, I have the Chanel Sublimage L'Essence de Teint Foundation in BR12. And underneath that, I'm testing out the Sisley Perfect Blur. Is it called Perfect Blur? Yeah, a Blur Expert powder. So I have that on underneath the foundation today. And I will have a review on this coming soon. I know a lot of people have asked about this, especially in comparison with the Chantecaille Perfect Blur powder, which should be re-released relatively soon. So I will have a review and a comparison of those up very soon. So just keep an eye out for that. But that's all I have on my face right now. And I just set it with a sample of the Chanel loose powder in shade 12. So that's it. And let's take a look at these eyeliners. So these liquid eyeliners from Chanel, they retail for $35 US. They have 7 shades. 3 of them are permanent. So the Noir Profond, which would be your black, that is permanent. Ultra Brun or brown is permanent, and Rouge Noir, which I just picked up. I haven't opened it yet. So these are the 3 permanent shades. And then they have 4 limited edition shades. And again, these shades came out sometime in early 2020, I think. And I have all of the limited edition shades. With Chanel products, these limited edition shades usually last for a little while, but I have no idea exactly how long they're going to be around for. They've already been out for about a year. So, if you're interested, I wouldn't wait too long. You never know when they're just gonna be gone. So anyway, this is what you get. It's 0.08 ounces. And as with other Chanel items, these are made in France. So you can see it twists off here. So this is a square container. You've got the Chanel logo at the top. The square is nice so it doesn't roll off. And then this is what the tip looks like. So this is number 516, Rouge Noir. And let me just show you how that goes on. So you can get a fine line like that, or you can do a thicker line. So this is Rouge Noir. And again, this is one of the permanent shades. And you can see here that it is going to be a burgundy shade with a little bit extra red in there. It's more of a reddish burgundy. And it's very, very pretty. Now, one of the things that I like about these particular eyeliners is that a lot of times when you're dealing with a liquid color eyeliner, they have a deeper base or like a blackish or grayish base. And then when you kind of spread it out, you see more of that. You don't see as much of the vibrant shade. So that's not really true of these. So let me go ahead and swatch all of these, and then we'll talk a little bit more about them. So again, Rouge Noir, this is number 516. This one's permanent. And then I have the 4 limited edition shades. This is 524, Grise Argent. And here's this one. So this is the gray. I really, really like the gray one. This is one of the first 2 I picked up. I picked up this in another shade originally. And you can see that it's a good mid-tone gray. And sometimes when the light hits it, can you see like that brownish tinge to it? So there's a little warmth to it. And you know, you get a slightly different shade how the light hits it, especially when I have in this bigger swatch here. You can see brown and you can see gray. So I think that's what makes this shade in particular very unique. The other shade that I picked up first, oh, got that upside down. This is number 518, and this is Mauve Maytel. And I have to say, I always open these upside down. I don't know why, but I always like go to untwist the smaller part instead of the larger part. So this is another shade that I really, really like. You can see that it's gonna be a little bit more purpley. It's a mauve shade or mauve shade, but there are some plum tones to it. And it's just a really nice kind of softer looking shade here. And then we have 522 Bronze Doré. So here's this one, and this one is new to me. I think I've used it once so far, but you can see that it's really more of a lighter brown than a true bronze. It doesn't have a whole lot of metallic glint. There is some, but it's not like super metallic-y. So honestly, I think when I was getting this one, I thought it would be a little bit more of a metallic sheen to it than there actually is. So it's a bronzy gold shade, but it's real, or bronzy brown shade, but to me it's more brown than bronze. I really like the shade. It's just a little bit more neutral, a little bit less bronze than I was originally expecting. And one of my favorites is number 526. This one is called Bleu Cobalt. So cobalt blue. And look at this blue. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Wow. So these are the 4 limited edition shades plus the Rouge Noir, which is permanent. And yeah, I think they are all stunning shades. I wish they were permanent instead of, you know, limited edition. But I have to say that I think this blue one is probably the most unique shade out of these 4. It's just a little bit more vibrant of a blue than a lot of the liquid eyeliners that I usually find, but there's something special about all 4 of these shades. So I'm very happy to have all 4 of them. And just a little bit of information from the Chanel website on these liners. This has an ultra fine felt tip. And I have to say, at first, I thought it was like a brush tip. You know, but it really is a felt tip. So, you know, that's something. Some people prefer a brush, some people prefer felt. One of the good things about this not being a brush is the bristles don't splay out. So that's always a plus there. And then this has a latex-based water-resistant formula, delivers intense color with versatile, long-wearing results. Now, one of my favorite things to do with this liquid liner is actually use it as a liquid eyeshadow instead. I don't wear a lot of winged eyeliner very often, and you know, wings are not very easy for me. So usually when I use these liquid eyeliners, I don't do a wing. Sometimes I do, but you know, most of the time I don't. I'll use these just along the lash line. The blue in particular gives a really nice, vibrant pop of color. I think that's beautiful. But one of the great things about these liners in particular is that they just perform so well on the eyes. And I have to say the water resistance and, you know, they hold up so well. So all of that I would say is fairly accurate. So I like to use these as a liquid eyeshadow. And I think that, you know, you can use these on top of like, you know, sometimes I'll use like a matte eyeshadow base and then just put some of this on the mobile lid. Sometimes I'll just use these liners. Again, I've been using these, you know, since they came out, and I really enjoy this formula so far. I mean, my 2 oldest, again, are the Gris Argent and the Mauve Maytel. And I haven't had any issues with either of them like drying up or anything at this point. They've stayed very fresh and very true to their original appearance. So you can see here, now that these have like dried, they don't really smudge. and they last on me all day. So they are just a really nice eyeliner. So let's go ahead. I'm going to bring you in closer and we're going to put some of this on as a liquid eyeshadow. All right, so we are going to start off with number 522 Bronze Durée, and I am going to blend this out with the Linda Hallberg 304 brush. It's just a synthetic, more of, a traditional, almost like a crease style brush. I mean, it is a crease style, but it's not quite as fluffy. There's a little bit more kickback to it. So we're going to start off with Bronze Durée. I'm going to kind of put this all over, buff it out into the crease. Then we'll use another shade on the mobile lid. So just going to put this kind of here. And again, I'm not worried about the mess at all. Taking the 304. And you can see that you can, buff these out and get a much lighter, softer shade. Okay, and on the inner half of the mobile lid, we're going to take 518 Mauve Maytel, and I'm going to use the same brush to kind of blend that out. Now, just like, a liquid eyeshadow, these dry slightly faster than some of the liquid eyeshadows. So I feel like the Chanel liquid eyeshadows actually dry a little bit slower than this. These are a little bit faster drying. So you got to be careful here. Now, sometimes I like to just kind of layer this on and let it dry. So it's like ultra pigmented here. All right, so I'm going to layer this on a little differently now. So I'm going to put a little bit more on here. And I'm going to take the Linda Hallberg 305. You can see that it's a flatter brush. I'm just going to kind of add this on a little bit more paint-like. Okay, so that's it for that color. And then I'm going to go in with the gray one. Let's see here. All right, so 524 Gris Argent. And I'm going to take this and put this on the outer corner here and blend that in a little bit. Again, I'm going to use this 504 brush here. Okay, and I'm actually just kind of feathering this in as it dries. So I'm actually covering up quite a bit of this Mauve Maytel. I can't really decide how I want it to look today. You can see as it's drying and I move it, it gets a little bit more sheer there. All right, so here it is on the eyes. You can see it's pretty messy right now, but look at when I turn my head. So even though it looks like the gray kind of covers the Mauve Maytel, it really doesn't. Like you can see when I shift, you can see a little bit more of it shine through from different angles. And again, with this gray one, you see some of that brown as well. So I think that is pretty neat. All right, now I haven't tried this before. We're gonna try applying some of the Bronze Durée just to the tip of the bristles of the 304. And we're gonna buff this kind of into the crease here. And I'm taking some of that off. Just see if we can straighten it up a little bit like this. This could just be a huge disaster. All right, so that gives kind of like a smokier eye look type thing. And then I think we're just going to use a little bit of the Bronze Doré on the 305 for the lower lash line. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the lower lash line. All right, and just to show you how these layer, again, we're going to use the blue cobalt on the lash line here. Not going to do a wing, but there you go. All right, so this is most of the colors on my eyes. I'm going to move you back a bit further and we'll finish up. So I'm just going to take the corner of my microfiber cloth. Just got this a little damp. I'm just going to kind of go up a little bit here. And yeah, then I'm just taking this 304. Yeah, 304. Just gonna kind of buff a little bit of that so it doesn't look so stark. All right, so this is the eyeshadow or liquid eyeliners from a distance. I'm gonna add some mascara, do my brows, and then please join me for some blush. And I'm gonna try the Les Beiges powder. Shade is this? This is the N50 for like bronzer. So we'll check that out and then we'll talk about these eyeliners. Okay, so I added the Chanel Le Volume de Chanel mascara in the Metal Terracotta, which is number 120, limited edition for the spring, and the Surratt Brow Pomade in light brown. And we're going to test out this powder. So this is new to me, but it's not a new product. So this is the Les Beiges Healthy Glow Sheer Powder, and this is shade N50. So you have a mirror inside and the Half Moon brush, and this is the powder. So we're going to test this out as a bronzer. I'm going to take the Refer 24 brush in here, and we'll just get a little bit of this up. Start with a small amount. Oh, you can see right away that warms things up very nicely. This works really well as a bronzer. You know, it's neutral enough. I have a very hard time finding bronzers that work on my skin tone with the right undertones, which is why I love the Gucci one so much. Let me just show you those in comparison. So this is the Chanel in N50. You can see that it's, you know, it's kind of like a sheer powder, so it doesn't go on overpoweringly strong. This is the Gucci in 01. So you can see that it's not quite as cool toned as the Gucci, but yet it's still, you know, it's not overly yellow. Let me show you a few more. Just gonna compare a couple more. This is the Tom Ford in Terra. And you can see that they're a bit more similar, but the Chanel is a little bit warmer still. It's got a little bit more yellow in it than the Tom Ford. And then we're going to look at this is the Guerlain from the holiday collection. And let's put that here. Now, the big thing that I think is the biggest difference between all these, aside from obviously the color in here is very different, but I think the sheerness of the Chanel powder is what's different. And I think that's something that really helps here. So yeah, I am liking this shade a lot. So I'll be testing it out more. Let me know if you guys want to see an update on this in the future. But by the way, I am planning an update video very soon. So if there are any things that you would like to see updates on, please let me know down below in the comments or DM me On Instagram, I'm at Alexis Jong, but in the next, probably next week, I'll have an update video up. And I've already got a list of some things that I definitely want to include, but if there's a particular thing that you'd like to see an update on, please be sure to let me know so I can be sure to include it. All right, so that's going to be it for the bronzer part. And then let's go in with the Chanel Rose Petal Blush. And this one is one of the new formulas. I'm taking the Beautylish Lunar New Year brush. And this one's actually from last year. It's supposed to be wrapped, but looks like a mouse. And then I'm using one of my favorite Chanel highlighters. This is Metal Peach. And you can see I've used this one, well, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I have used it quite a bit. It's definitely one of my most used shades, but I like to use it with a fan brush and just get like a little bit. So the Rephr 20 is my favorite brush to use with it, but this one is the Fan Pro from Sonia G, which is another one that I really enjoy for this highlight. And I'm just going to take a little bit on the bristles up here and add this right under the brow. Now, one thing I want to note about using these as shadows, when I was adding the Bronze Durée at the end there, on my left eye, I had some like drying clumps on the brush, which kind of transferred to my eye here. So something to be aware of if you're doing that, either, you know, let it completely dry and clean it off really well, be a little bit faster, or use a different brush. So just something to note there. And then for lips, I'm taking the Chanel Velvet Extreme in 118 Eternal, and just add a little bit of this. And I don't want this to look too perfect, so I'm going to take my finger and just kind of smudge the edges of it. I just want it to kind of be blurred edges a little. So I'm not trying to get it on my skin, but. All right, so this is my final look using the Chanel liquid eyeliners kind of all over the eyes. And I have to say that I think it turned out okay. You know, like I really like how the colors seem to shift when I turn my head. I really enjoy that. And these are the swatches I swatched at the beginning of the video, so you can see how they have dried. And again, you can see the Gris Argent here really has kind of like that dual tone to it, which I think is really interesting. So from the top, we have the Rouge Noir, Gris Argent, Mauve Métal, Bronze Doré, and Bleu Cobalt. And yeah, I love them all. So it would be hard for me to pick a favorite. Yeah, I don't know. But I do really think the gray eyeliner trend is, you know, getting really big right now. So the Gris Argent, I really think is, I mean, if you're looking for a liquid eyeliner, I think this one is kind of like a must-have, in my opinion, if you're trying to follow the gray eyeliner trend. And I think because it has like that brown reflect in there, it makes it really unique. So yeah, I guess if I had to pick one, that's the one I would pick. But I think all of the limited edition shades have something special about them, and they're all beautiful. So again, you can wear them as liquid eyeshadow like I did. You can use them just as an eyeliner. And I have used these to do like wings and so forth. And I find that the felt tip is fairly easy to work with to do a line. So, you know, you can see how finely pointed it gets. Now, it's not the finest tip point that I have on some of these eyeliners. Let me show you another one. By comparison, here is the Suku. And I can get, you can see I can get finer with the Suku than I can with that. And one of the big difference, they're both felt tips, but the Suku, you know, you've got the well in here and it wells up through the felt tip, which makes it a little bit easier to get a finer point versus dipping into a well. So just something to note there. And then this is the Surratt, which is actually a brush tip. And you can see you can get a fine point with that one also. And let me just show you one more time the finest I can get with the Chanel. Yeah, it doesn't go quite as fine as the others, but honestly, I think it's still very thin. So I think they're easy to work with. They hold up really well. I have to say that they are some of the best holding liquid eyeliners that I've used because they really don't smudge on me by the end of the day. And when I do use them as liquid eyeshadow, they hold up all day as well. So I really enjoy them. If you're interested in these, definitely check them out. Again, we've got the 4 limited edition shades here, and Rouge Noir is permanent along with the brown and the black shades. So thank you so much for tuning in, Donna. I hope this was helpful, and I hope anybody was interested in any of these shades. I hope these swatches kind of help you make a decision if you want to pick any of these up. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you very soon. Have a great day and stay safe and healthy.